pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have two of our council members are on speakerphone, Hillary Thomas and Debbie Pring, so if you hear the voice coming out of the box, that is them. Martha, would you please call roll?
Yes, Davis.
Here.
Flora.
Here.
Inman.
Here.
Crane.
Here.
Quinn. Oh, sorry, he is absent. My apologies. Rothrock.
Here.
Schlossmacher.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, before we get started this evening, I would like to welcome everybody joining our meeting. There will be opportunities at various times throughout this meeting for a public comment. If you have a public comment you would like to make that is not related to an agenda item, there will be an opportunity for you to speak. That is item number 5 on our agenda. And if you do have something that you want to say relevant to an agenda item, if you would raise your hand at that time so that I could recognize you. We do not have a public hearing scheduled for this evening, so we'll move into special presentations. And I am going to come down to the lectern and we'll conduct the special presentations. First, we have our special presentation. I would like to recognize and welcome Isabella Weding, who is the winner of this year's Arbor Day poster contest. Isabella is a 5th grader at Rushton Elementary, and her winning poster is a poster of a beautiful highway to the sunset that highlights this year's Arbor Day theme, Kansas trees, terrific and energy-wise. We have several members of our Parks and Rec and Tree Commission here this evening to help us recognize Isabella and make our Tree City USA presentation. So I would like to call forward Jackie Gamison and Karen Capron to make that presentation, please.
Would you come with us? The Weding family? You do such a good job. I think you ought to continue.
No, I don't want to step on your toes.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we'll stand up here in front of the lectern.
Okay, in front of the
Is that okay? We'll get the family here because I'm sure.
Okay.
Did you want to all sit in front? Stand in front? Yeah, let's all stand in front.
There we go.
Isabella has had this hanging in her home, but she shared it with us tonight so we could share it all with you. Isabella, we congratulate you on behalf of the City of Mission and the Parks, Rec, and Tree Commission for winning our City of Mission Arbor Day poster contest this year. I'd like to recognize a winner from 2 years previous, Sister Abigail, and Mother, Mrs. Weding. We're so pleased to have you here with us tonight, and we were so pleased to have you represent your 5th grade class for Rushton, because this is about the 16th year we've done this over there, and really proud to have all the winners we've had. Thank you much. Thank you. You have the, we don't have a flag or flag. Okay.
We'll take this chair.
It didn't send us a flag this year, Val. Okay.
However, because we have many different programs throughout the year in order to gain the status of the Tree City USA, our poster contest is one of them. So we definitely thank Isabella for her participation in that. This is to the city as a certificate of Tree City USA, and it shows that we have completed 17 years as a Tree City USA. And so that's something to be proud of.
Thank you.
All right. All right, next on our special presentation is our Building Safety Month proclamation. This is our 3rd year in recognizing Building Safety Month. Thank you to all of our staff and consultants who work to ensure that our homes, our buildings, and our infrastructure are structurally sound and safe for all of us to use. Also, thank you to our neighborhood services staff who works to keep our neighborhoods well maintained and provide assistance to those in need and administer the various programs that we have that work to bring our neighborhoods together. We have several new members, staff members in our Community Development Department and Neighborhood Services Department, and Mr. Scott is going to introduce them for us.
Come on up. Thank you, Mayor. It's my privilege tonight to introduce to you our new Community Development Department. It's very true. We went on massive hiring back in April and March, and we got some very good candidates for the positions and some great candidates to actually fill the position. So we're very excited to have all these new individuals working with us. I wanted to introduce Jim Brown. Jim Brown is our new building official. Jim has over 20 years of experience in building safety, working as a building official for the city of Prairie Village for about 15 years, the city of Salina for about 3 years, and most recently the city of Belton, Missouri for about 2 years before joining our staff. And prior to his career in building safety, Jim served about 13 years in the U.S. military. So thank you for your service, Jim. On the far end is Rebecca Brown, no relation to Jim. No nepotism here. Rebecca comes to us from the city of Overland Park, where she served for 2 years as the Code Enforcement Compliance Officer 2. She did a number of duties in addition to kind of traditional code enforcement neighborhood services officer, including restaurant inspections, health inspections, massage parlor inspections, and fun stuff like that. So she has a wealth of experience that'll be great for our repertoire of services that we offer to our citizens and businesses. Finally, in the middle is Audrey McClanahan. Audrey is our office assistant. So she's kind of the face of mission when you come to City Hall and you have a building permit or a question or you want a business license. She's the one that'll be sitting behind the desk up front here and be able to answer your questions or kind of direct you to the right place. Audrey has kind of a variety of career experiences. Most recently, she was a school teacher for about 2 years. And prior to that, she was the administrative assistant at the UMKC School of Law and served as a clerk at the Johnson County Sheriff's Office. And then was administrative assistant at the Commonwealth Law Office here in Michigan for a few years. So we're all very excited to have you. Welcome.
You follow me.
It's initiation. Mission version.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you as well. Well, thank you.
Jim, welcome.
Nice to meet you as well.
Oh, welcome. I'm excited to have you on board. I'm so glad that you came to Michigan. Nice to meet you. Come please meet you.
All right, our next proclamation is for National Police Week. May 12th through 18th is the National Police Week. I'm honored to present our police department with a proclamation recognizing the service and commitment of all of our police officers. Thank you to all of you, for keeping us safe, working with our students, and helping our community. Over the past year, we've had many new officers, which is good, and we welcome them to our community. Chief Hadley, please accept this proclamation on behalf of your department.
It's hot up here. Could be the gear.
All right, we next have National Public Works Week proclamation. Each year we recognize our Public Works Department, for the important work they do for our city. This National Public Works Week is May 18th to the 25th. So I encourage you all to if you have an opportunity to thank our Public Works staff for what they do. We rely on them to keep our infrastructure up and running. Obviously, during the past winter with the snows we had, the job's second to none in keeping our streets clean. I don't know how many times I get told about people passing through Mission that they can tell when they're in Mission because the streets are always clean. They can always depend on that. So I'd like to present this proclamation to Brent Morton to share with the Public Works staff, and then also Brent has some information on the Public Works barbecue that's scheduled for later this month. So Brent, come on up.
Let's get a picture. Thank you.
So the Public Works barbecue down at our facility at 4775 Lamar is next Thursday, starting at 11:30. So everybody's invited. We will get a mailer out here soon to you guys or email. So come on down, have some barbecue, meet the Public Works staff, and we'll have some fun. Thanks.
And finally, we have a proclamation for Kids to Park Day proclamation. Sunday, May 18th is Kids to Park Day. It's a great opportunity to visit Greenway Park and for us to promote the value and amenities of all of our parks in Mission. So thank you to our Parks and Recreation Department. They work throughout the year very hard to promote an active lifestyle for everyone. Jenny Smith is with us this evening to share additional information on the activities that are planned for this year's Kids to Park Day. Jenny?
Great, thank you, Mayor.
Got a picture.
Yes. Photo first. I like pictures.
You get that in that hand, and we just shake that.
Thank you very much. We're very excited. This will be our 4th annual Kids to Park event that we are able to host here in Mission. And we're proud to say that we are only one of the Parks and Rec agencies that host this event in the KC metro area. So we usually get a pretty good turnout. I've been looking at the weather for this Saturday though, so everybody needs to keep their fingers crossed that we can get that event in and that rain holds off until the afternoon. We're very excited. Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks and Tourism comes and works with us on this event. They offer us lots of different activities and packets that we're able to get the kids really into nature, and they're able to use it in one of our awesome parks here in Mission. Streamway's a hidden gem that I don't know a lot of people know about, and so this type of event really gets people out. We have a wonderful nature park within our city limits, and hopefully we get families out there. I encourage everybody to come out. The event is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. We have lots of fun activities. We're going to do some track casting. We've got reel casting. We're going to do some owl pellet dissection, which I won't get into too many details about what an owl pellet is, but you find some really cool stuff in there. So we're really looking forward to it. So I appreciate this proclamation. I think it really makes us stand out. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Thank you, citizens, and have a great night. We'll see you Saturday. Thank you.
All right, that concludes our special presentations, and we're moving on to item 3 on the agenda, which is issuance of notes and bonds, and we do not have any on our agenda this evening. So we'll move on to item 4, which is our consent agenda. Now, our consent agenda does have 6 items on it this evening. Our council committees met on May 1st, and we fully discussed each of these items. The committee agreed that the items listed on our consent agenda are routine enough to be considered under a single motion. Now, several of the other items discussed by that same committee will be presented under special reports later on in our agenda this evening. If a council member or member of the public wishes to have any of the items removed from the consent agenda, now would be the time to make that request. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion, please.
Mayor, I move the City Council approve or adopt the consent agenda as printed, items 4A to 4F.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Davis.
Aye.
Schlossmacher.
Aye.
Flora.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Crane. Rothrock.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. That moves us on to item 5, which is our public comments. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the time for members of the public to address council on any item that is not on an agenda this evening. Do we have anybody which would like to come forward and make some remarks? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 6, which is action items. And tonight we do have one item from our Planning Commission. Mr. Scott, will you please give us an overview of this item?
Thank you, Mayor. Item on tonight's agenda is case number 1901, which is a lot split of lot 119 of Mission Hills Acres, or commonly known as 5539 Reeds Road. The applicant is Lawn Silver Trust number 1. This case was heard before the Planning Commission at a public hearing on April 22nd. You may be familiar with how this works. You've had a couple other lot splits recently, right in the immediate area. In fact, one right behind this property. The house currently on the property was built in 1940. It's a 2-story single-family home. The applicant is desiring to split the lot into 2 lots. The house would remain on the southern portion of the property, the southern lot. The northern lot is currently undeveloped. The applicant would like to sell that to Mr. Steve Clayton, who's a home builder here in the area. He purchased a lot over on Maple 5529 last year, requested that lot split, which was approved by you all in January of this year. So he's familiar with the process, and we're familiar with his work. The lot is currently 60 feet wide, 120 feet wide. It was split. Each lot would be 60 feet wide by 140 feet deep. Section 410.010 of the City Code states any single-family dwelling constructed, reconstructed, altered shall require a lot having a width of not less than 70 feet and an average depth of 110 feet, with the following exception. Any lot may be split to a minimum width of 60 feet and a depth of 110 feet if it complements the overall character of the adjacent neighborhood. In considering applications for a lot split to a width of less than 70 feet, the lot width of any newly created lot may not be less than 75% of the average front lot width of lots within the subject property block. That's a mouthful. So, as we've done in the past, we looked at the block. In this case, the block is bounded by Reeds on the west, 55th Street on the north, Maple Street on the south, and 56th Street, Maple Street on the east, and 56th Street on the south. The predominant average lot width is 62.5 feet within that block. 75% of that would be 51.23. So this obviously meets that definition. As such, staff recommended approval, and the Planning Commission voted unanimously to approve recommendation to the City Council. And the applicant is here this evening if you have any questions of her. That concludes my report.
All right, do we take an action on that?
Mayor, I move that the City Council uphold the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve case number 1901, lot split of lot 119 Mission Hill Acres at 5539 Reeds Road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Flora.
Aye.
Inman.
Aye.
Crane. Davis.
Aye.
Schlesmacher.
Aye.
Thomas. Rothrock.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, moving on to item 7, which is committee reports. First up, Councilmember Schlesmacher, would you please provide a report on the Finance and Administration Committee?
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Administration Committee met on May 1st and discussed 6 items, including approval of the previous meeting minutes, Two of those items were considered on tonight's consent agenda, and we have one additional item for consideration. Information on the election of council committee chair and vice chair was provided at the meeting as a discussion item, and these elections are also on tonight's agenda under new business. The committee also began our discussions on the 2020 budget. So our item that's up tonight is item 7A, the acceptance of audited financial statements for the year ending December 31st, 2018. Kansas statutes require an annual audit of the city's financial statements. The 2018 audit was conducted by Burbridge, Trey & Company, certified public accountants, who worked in conjunction with city staff. The audit includes examining on a test basis, evidence supporting the amounts and disclosure in the financial statements, assessing the accounting principles used in significant estimates made by management, as well as an evaluation of the overall basic financial statement presentation. The city received a clean or unqualified audit for 2018. Council must now vote to accept the audit as presented. So Mayor, I move the City Council accept the audited financial statements for the year ending December 31st, 2018.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just like,
Mr. Davis.
I'd just like to congratulate staff for all the good work that you did this year in terms of making it possible for us to get a clean audit, and congratulations on the hard work.
Thank you. And the guy who deserves all of that left the room.
I know, I saw that.
We'll make him read the minutes. We appreciate that.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Inman,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Schlosmacher.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That concludes our Finance and Administration report, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Community Development, Councilmember Inman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Community Development Committee also met on May 1st and discussed 7 items. These included approval of the committee minutes, information on the lot split at 5539 Reeds Road that was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission and considered earlier in this agenda. Discussion of the financing and design of Rock Creek improvements and information on the election of council committee chair and vice chair. 3 action items from the committee were approved on tonight's consent agenda, and the election of the committee chair and vice chair will be considered under new business. That concludes the CDC report.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8 on our agenda, it's unfinished business, which we do not have any this evening. So moving on to item 9, which is new business. And the first is acceptance of easements on the Broadmoor project. Tonight we have 4 items under new business. The first is, like I say, the acceptance of the easements. Ms. Smith, will you please provide information on this topic?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. As you know, we've been working on the Broadmoor project, which the council awarded the contract for at your last council meeting. There was the need to acquire right-of-way, some permanent easements, and some temporary construction easements from the properties that will be impacted by that. There were 11 tracts, 10 of which we will need to acquire those easements from. Emily Randall and Brent Morton started that process and have had great success. Hats off to them. They have been able to this point to secure 7 of those easements. There's a memo at your place which identifies the tracts for which those easements have been secured. The property owners for the parcels listed below have approved the acquisitions for a total amount of $85,078, and so we would be looking for council's acceptance of those easements so that we may get them recorded with the county and continued on down the path. And so we will have 3 that we hope to bring back to you at your June meeting.
All right, thank you. I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that the City Council authorize the purchase of right-of-way and easements for the Broadmoor Rehabilitation Project for the following tracts: 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, in a total amount not to exceed $85,078. And the tracts are listed on a separate sheet that has been advertised.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yes, Ms. Laura.
I had a question. I don't know if this would be for Laura or Emily, but how does that $85,078 figure relate to our opening offers on these easements? Where do we come out?
I don't have it calculated specifically, but generally we stuck with our
Yeah, we've been able to secure the easements generally for our initial offers.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Flora,
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Schlossmacher,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, moving on to item 9B. Mr. Morton, will you provide us information on the task order to move forward with the stormwater repairs on Fox Ridge Drive and Woodson following the recent development of a sinkhole in both locations?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's approval for a task order with GBA, George Buckler and Associates, to provide design, survey work, and also some alternative solutions for cheaper and maybe an easier fix on some of these sinkholes. So we're looking at some design alternatives for solutions to the problem. The property is located at 5501 Fox Ridge and also a property at 5945 Woodson. Have both experienced CMP or corrugated metal pipe failure. We've had all these lines cameraed or videoed to make sure there is the failures, and all of them have broken or fell apart, so they are in need of repairs or replacement. So hopefully we can get by with some repairs and some alternative solutions, save the city some money on that end. They do need to get addressed sooner than later for sure. The sinkholes continue to grow with the spring rains, so that's why we're bringing this in front of you tonight. So we're asking for approval of a task order for $9,945 to get GBA started on this process. And as soon as we get the design work done, staff's going to take it out to bid. And once we get some of those bid documents back, we're going to bring it back to council for your guys' approval on the contracts and progress.
All right, thank you. I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the City Council approve a task order with GBA to provide design and survey services to address stormwater failures impacting properties at 5501 Fox Ridge Drive and 5945 Woodson in an amount not to exceed $9,945.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
I think it's great. We need it.
All right, please call for the vote.
Davis,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Flora,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Schlossmacher.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, moving on to item 9C, election of council committee chairs and vice chairs. Tonight, we will select our chairs and vice chairs for our council committees. We'll start with the Community Development Committee and first vote on the chairperson, followed by the vice chairperson, and then we'll do the same thing for the Finance and Administration Committee. So I would entertain nominations.
Mayor, I nominate Hillary Thomas for the position of Community Development Committee Chairperson with the term expiring May 20th, 2020.
Second.
We have a nomination and a second. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we will vote on this nomination, please.
Thomas,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Schlossmacher,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Flora.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, I would entertain nominations for vice chair of CDC. Yes, Ms. Flora.
Mayor, I would like to nominate Councilmember Ken Davis for the position of Community Development Committee Vice Chairperson with the term expiring May 20th, 2020.
All right, we have a nomination. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
We have a second. Now, are there any other nominations? Hearing none, please vote on the nomination.
Davis,
Aye.
Schlossmacher,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Flora,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, we will move on to Finance and Administration. I would entertain nominations for Chair of Finance and Administration.
Mayor, I nominate Solly Flora for the position of Finance and Administration Committee Chairperson with the term expiring May 20th, 2020.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, we have a nomination nomination and a second. Any other nominations? Hearing none, let's vote on this nomination, please.
Rothrock.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Inman.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Flora.
Aye.
Schlosmacher.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, I would entertain a motion for Vice Chair of Finance Administration. Yes, Ms. Flora.
Mayor, I would like to nominate Councilmember Kristen Inman for the position of Finance and Administration Committee Vice Chairperson with a term expiring May 20th, 2020.
Second.
We have a nomination and a second. Do we have any other nominations? Hearing none, please vote on this nomination.
Thomas.
Aye.
Rothrock.
Aye.
Flora.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Inman.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Schlosmacher.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, that concludes 9C. Moving on to, and I'd like to congratulate all of the chairs and vice chairs. Look, on item 9D is a change in our date for the July council meeting, our committee meetings, with our July committee meetings falling on the 3rd, and council members potentially being out of town, and also residents. For the 4th of July holiday, these meetings will be moved to the second Wednesday of the month, which will be July 10th. Is there a motion to change the date of our July committee meetings?
Mayor, I move that I move that we change the date of the July 3rd, 2019 meetings for the Community Development Committee and Finance and Administration Committee to Wednesday, July 10th, 2019 at 6:30 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Schlosmacher.
Aye.
Rothrock.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Inman.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Flora.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, moving on to item 10. This is comments from the City Council. This is an opportunity for comments from our council members. Does anyone have anything they would like to share? Mr. Davis.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Hillary Thomas and her husband for the addition to our council family of Penelope, and welcome her to our city of Mission as a new resident. So Hillary, congratulations.
Thank you, Ken.
Yes.
I do have another one.
Okay.
I wanted to just take a moment to thank, is it Brooke Hagerman, who is the animal control officer. This past week, she helped me out of a very difficult little situation that I had. I was driving down Johnson Drive, and two dogs ran in front of me down near Antioch in Miriam. And one was a German Shepherd, and the other one wasn't too much smaller than that. And they ended up, I stopped and opened my door, and they both decided to get into my car. So you can see a German Shepherd and another large dog crossing over my driver's seat while I'm standing in traffic. And they got into the back seat of the car, and after about an hour and a half of several calls to dispatch and animal control and trips to the Unleashed and the SPCA location, Brooke was very helpful and found the owner and was able to put me in touch with the owner, and I drove over to her house and released the two dogs there. So I wanted to thank Brooke personally for her help on that.
I'll pass that on, thank you. I wasn't going to tell your story for you, so.
She
Didn't tell anybody.
She did tell you that, huh?
What led to the opening of the door?
Well, I just thought that, I could maybe help them, but I didn't expect them to get into the car.
All right, anything else? Yes, Mr.
I have something.
Yes, Ms. Crane.
I just want to say I am in Washington, D.C. representing the National League of Cities for Governmental Advisory for the Environmental Protection Law and Statutes. I just want to let you know I'm the only local elected official here, and we had to go through and introduce ourselves. And I have never been more proud to come up with all the things that Mission is doing on a sustainable
Yeah, I was just going to say thanks to everyone that helped out with the Harvesters event over the weekend. We had a Harvesters mobile food truck at Shawnee Mission North, and other people from the city were there. We served